Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and we're here in Cosmic Crucible because I want to talk a little bit about the Nightstalkers team. Now, they're fully assembled at this point, not free to play, of course, but I have run into the Nightstalkers, the full team, in Cosmic Crucible in Room 3. This is the second time now, so this is my trial 2. By the time this video goes out, I don't know what day it's going to be necessarily, but I want to talk about my disappointment that not only did they theme a Crucible season around Nightstalkers and Undying? I don't even know if those characters are really going to get used outside of maybe people who have spent a lot of money on Zombie Scarlet Witch. But I'm really disappointed in general with Man Thing, but I'm also disappointed how the full team acts together. And I think the only way that you're going to be able to really get through that, make them work, is probably if you use a 4-piece. My guess is you would have to take out Moon Knight and put in something like North Star or something else maybe in the raid room to really function, or just some other better hybrid character. But the full team kind of sucks. Why? Because I can use my Hive Mind wherever the hell they are, and I actually don't even need to use. So the first trial, I actually beat the same team. I didn't even need Super Scroll. I thought I did, but I'm pretty sure I don't. And I just need to. I can probably chuck Venom in there, honestly, because he'll be able to take advantage of some of that too. Because the entire team gets speed up and lots of turn bar, and that's great. That's great for this. And I think my ISOs are all fine. I think that's okay. And even though that Man Thing was designed to be, they were very specifically designed to beat the nodes in Orcus 1. But that doesn't necessarily make them that good in other game modes. Even though not only both war and maybe they're better in war, right? Offensively, of course. I'm super disappointed in this team. The fact that an old team, I'm probably gonna eat my words here in a minute if I don't actually pull it off 100% of the time. But I'll show you exactly what happens, at least with the Hive Mind versus Nightstalkers. So Void Knight should go first here because they'll get on spawn speed up, which immediately makes them all so much faster than the rest of the team. Man-Thing gets 20% speed, but that doesn't beat a speed up spawn, right? And he doesn't get Safeguard on spawn, so boom, I can immediately flip that taunt. Doesn't apply ability block, but that's okay. And so what I would do is I would probably, because Blade and Oath, they're super squishy, but I'm probably more afraid of Blade. So I'm going to go right into Blade. And all of my characters go first. You can do, maybe the stun also works, but I'm doing the ultimate here because that does stun. It's going to stun Agatha, and then right now we're going to be able to do that. We get the red, right, and then boom, everyone starts popping off because they don't have North Star on the defense, and then it just goes downhill from Red Goblin just wrecked the entire team with his ultimate, and then it's boom, it's done, right? Right, it's done. An old team like Hive Mind just absolutely wrecked it. I think my efficiency is probably really good because I took maybe a turn. Void Knight, Red Goblin took 2 turns, and then Venom took 2 turns. Carnage took 1 turn. Gwenum took 1 turn. Void Knight took 1 turn. So it should be a pretty it's embarrassingly easy. 8368. My first attack. I just wanted to share it with us because it's sad. It's sad. Not only is it in the raid room, but they get an additional 20% damage. It doesn't even matter, right? Like if they don't get to go, it doesn't matter. And then they have to attack. All of these things, they have to take a turn for it to matter, and it just doesn't. And this just adds to my kind of disappointment about the Nightstalkers team. And I kind of want to go over exactly what I think makes them bad. I I do kind of want to say they need a buff. Maybe that's just me. I don't normally call for buffs or say this team's trash, that character's trash, but I actually don't think the team's very good, and I really want to talk about why. And I want to show you my trial 1 here. Excuse some of the other stuff. I still won because the guy didn't attack. So I messed this up because I was just curious. I was messing about, seeing if Bifrost could do it. And the funny thing is that Bifrost, if they had more damage, they could, because they all went first as well. Sylvie turn bar rewound and applied slow, although that actually was a bit of a bad thing because Blade flips it. So I mean, I probably wouldn't use this. But anyways, nonetheless, I beat it here with these characters at a 7966. Let me tell you, 100%. Super Scroll didn't even take a turn. It didn't matter because my Red Goblin just wiped the entire field, and this was a bigger team than the one we just faced. And so that's part of what made me really disappointed with this team. Yes, most times you're not supposed to use the full team. Typically, you're supposed to use some sort of, for meta things, you're supposed to use hybrids. But for those, who are maybe in the mid game who do have this full team and maybe not like at a massive degree, I feel like it's just super lackluster. Like considering that there was multiple things buffing them in variety of different game modes, it's just I don't know. I just don't feel very good about this. Now on my main account, because I have Odin and Mephisto, it wasn't really of any big priority for me to unlock these characters, and I only have Blade because I have a jackpot unlock. For Oath and Man Thing, I never cored for it. On my alt account, I do have the 4-piece Nightstalkers with Blade and Oath is actually really good at clearing the raids. In fact, just like Omega Sentinel, you don't even need Man Thing to clear. Well, I'm running D2 on my alt account. I don't need Man Thing to do that, right? And then once I get Mephisto, it's going to be even easier and even more of a reason why I don't need Man Thing to do that. So there's a lot of disappointment, and I talked a little bit about this in my Should You Core Man Thing video, but I think I need to talk about this again, about the characters and what I think makes this a little bit lackluster. So I want to start here on MSF.GG because I think we need to cover this again and why I really don't like this team. Now, I do want to say that I actually really like Agatha. I like the rework that was done to her. I like that, her stats are good. And maybe that's part of it. Like, but I feel like I fought a pretty strong in both instances on Crucible. I fought some pretty strong versions of the Nightstalker. So I don't know, unless they were like they'd have to be diamond out for my Hive Mind to fail. But I just feel like either Hive Mind's really good in the raid room, or Nightstalker just really suck, or it's a combination of the two. I'm not sure. But one thing that I really don't like about the team is Man Thing's passive. I don't like that he does not spawn, particularly in Rays at least, does not spawn with Safeguard, which would prevent me from chucking my spear with Void Knight and flipping that taunt, and then things would have maybe changed a little bit. I'd have to beat into Man Thing, and maybe I probably still could have because Red Goblin would have gone and AoE'd everyone and killed them all, and so it probably wouldn't have made a huge difference, but at least I wouldn't have been an easy way to be able to flip to another character. So the part that he needs 3 or more, basically you need 4 characters on the field in order to taunt and gain immunity is trash. I think that for characters like Sasquatch, who can do a lot of this stuff without any characters, is a crazy difference. Also, he doesn't have Safeguard, like I said, until he uses his skills, which he's so slow that he's almost never going to get around to doing, which then relies on Oath. So Oath's abilities, and we'll get to that, Oath's passive requires a controller to take a turn in order for Safeguard to apply to the team. And by the time that happens, actually, did I screw myself a little bit? Venom was a controller, right? Venom's a controller. So I probably shouldn't have even used Venom. I honestly probably didn't even need him because I've done it with the 4-man team before. That just clued into me now. But the fact that he doesn't get it himself or gives it to his team on spawn is just absolutely wild. The 20% speed, I feel it's not enough comparably to other raid teams. Speed up is 50% speed, right? And so that's a lot. That's what immediately shoves the rest of the Hive Mind team ahead of all of the Nightstalkers. Not to mention the Void Knight does get also enhanced speed bar, so he's getting speed up plus the turn bar, so he's quite quick. But this stuff doesn't matter. I hate that they purposely built this team to counter just specifically those raid nodes, right? Like enemy protector cannot gain immunity. That's a gladiator callout. The ability block cannot be applied to any not Nightstalker allies. Fine. That's the Void Knight on the boss, right? And the funny thing is that it didn't even matter because I didn't even have to ability block the Nightstalkers for me to kick their ass. And so I don't know. It's just the rest of the kit's fine. Like his attacks are fine if he ever gets to it. I don't really have an issue with that. I guess I have an issue with this passive and like how the Nightstalkers are as far as this is a race to this is a speed race. This is a speed race game when it comes to whether it's speed up, +% speed, or turn bar, or whatever. right? And they're just not in this new era. They're being I think it's crazy that they're being beat by like such an old team. It's not that old of a team, but given how fast things are moving, it's pretty quick. Now, Blade, he's not a bad character. I don't like that he has 4 awakened abilities, regardless of how we get them now. I think that's pretty wild. Um, I fought up against like in an arena, like a 3 diamond, or was it a 3 diamond blade, like a multiple diamond, maybe 1 diamond blade, and it hit pretty hard. So with you have the blind for 2 turns to primary and second targets, like that's great. Like he's actually pretty good, but there's just something about him that I also feel a bit nah about. Like I just don't know. Maybe am I the only one who feels this way? Maybe I'm just talking out my ass here a little bit, but I'm just not. It's the team. There's something about the team that bothers me. I don't know if it's the combination of the Mystic Raid team wasn't super necessary now in the era of Mephisto and Odin, and I know that not everyone has them, and even my alt doesn't. But like I didn't feel like the whole team together feels like a great recipe for success. I guess for that was a terrible phrase. I don't know why I said that. And even the 10% crit on the passive awaken just really doesn't feel that good, because unless you're running everyone with raiders, like I maybe this is good for like Dark Dimension and like long battles, but in PvP where things are determined in like a turn or two or a round or two, like I don't know how great that really is. I do like the fact that he does flip slow at the end of any turn. So applying slow to the team is actually bad because they're gonna get speed up as a result of that. But that never happened, right? With my Hive Mind attacks, that I did not apply slow to them at that point where they flipped it. So it wasn't really that big of a deal. Now, Oath, as far, and there's no raid tech, not that I don't mind a lot, but they don't actually benefit a lot from raids. Like this is it. It's pretty lackluster, honestly, for Man Thing. And there is a little bit. There's safeguard here, but again, it's only to himself, and it's super late by the time he does this for safeguard. Oath, on the other hand, is probably the one who does have the most raid text here, right? Generate energy on spawn. Enemy controller. Apply safeguard to all Nightstalker allies. But Venom went pretty late in the round, right? Like, I'm pretty sure he is the controller, and this was like pretty late. And so at that point, it didn't really matter. I wasn't flipping anything at that point. I was just applying debuffs, so it didn't really matter. The rest of the stuff, like expose, needs to be on the enemy, or in this case, me, for anything to really happen, and is offensive. So clearly, they're an offensive team, and maybe that's where things are going wrong, and why you shouldn't. Half the video is me saying you should not put them on offense, or sorry, you shouldn't put them on defense. Maybe you should use them on offense, but I'm not even sure where I would see. I wanted to get back to my other attack. Where the hell am I even? There we go. I wanted to get back to this. So where am I supposed to use Nightstalkers? When I mean me, like I only have 3 of them. Where are you using Nightstalkers? Like clearly do not put them on defense. This is the worst possible idea that you could ever do, given the fact that they can be beat by an old team like Hive Mind at less power. I can punch up like a good 100, a good million power, maybe more. Honestly, maybe I'm being carried by my Red Goblin because I G19'd him and somehow managed. I didn't even realize I had him in 3D. But yeah, he basically wiped the field as soon as his all went. Maybe you need to hybridize the team on defense, but again, it just feels like disappointment to me. I'm disappointed. Okay, this is just an entire video of me being disappointed with Nightstalkers, but maybe I'm not using them correctly or not thinking about them correctly. I'm not actually using them because I only have 3 of them anyways. But I would be curious and throw that back at you guys where you're using them. Like where are you getting value out of them? And how are your feelings of the team as a whole? Because maybe I'm missing something and I just need somebody else in the community to kind of share their experiences with me to make me feel a little bit better about them, or about wanting to unlock them or getting them soon. Maybe I just don't care and want to move on to Astral. Not sure. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below. I would really love to hear about this team and your experiences with them, what I should do with mine when I eventually unlock them, or I don't know, I should just wait until Battle World when I'm kind of forced to use them. That's the end of this video, everyone, and until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see y'all later. Boilon, signing out.